Hi everyone, I'm LD. I'm with the Integrity and Average YouTube channel. Today, it's the second video. Super excited about that. And today I wanted to talk about what the meaning is behind the name Integrity and Average, or the Integrity and Average. Um, so let's start with integrity. So I've heard I wanted to give this example first for integrity, about like a battleship and like the integrity of the ship. So think of a battleship, kind of compartmentalize one in your head or picture one in your head. And the integrity of the ship is like how much can it withstand to maintain integrity. And so if a ship can withstand a lot, it has a lot of integrity. And and I've also heard the definition of integrity being described as like doing right as if, or even whenever nobody is watching you, or doing right as if even if no one is watching you. I would like to offer my my personal definition of integrity, which is to do right as if everyone is watching you. I know it's kind of a step up, and it can be a little bit intense depending on however you take it, but always maintaining a sense of integrity. And I carry that personal definition with me every day through everything that I do. So the integrity in average. So average now. There's a funny, story back in my, younger days, whenever I played baseball, and I would look at the opposing team. One of the things that we would call the opposing team average, believe it or not. And it was actually, it was kind of a little bit of an interesting thing to see, or like an enlightening thing to see, is because some people would react differently to average. For instance, in baseball context, you have a hitter going up, and your team's on the field. You have a batter coming up, and you yell, "Hey, average, blah 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 blah." And it's not like it's necessarily a bad thing or evil thing to call somebody average. Is You're just saying that they're average. Anyways, you'd see players and stuff like that over, like, I guess, like, overexert themselves, like hitting, for instance. They would swing really really hard and they would miss, or they'd strike out, or it just got in people's heads, just the idea of calling somebody average. It worked the same both ways. So if we had a pitcher up, or if the opposite team had a pitcher up, we'd call them average, and they would throw harder. They'd miss parts of the strike zone. Worst case scenario. There's actually one time whenever I was in high school and there was a playoff game. I remember because I sat on the bench. Uh, Everyone who's watching might be that, or might be from that era. Uh, but I sat on the bench, and I remember vividly there was one pitcher who's like, really good that we were going up against, and he threw really really hard, like 90s or something like that. And I just remember just screaming average at this pitcher, and it got in his head. It got in his head quite a lot, to a point where he had to get pulled within the second or third inning, if that. And that was their stud. That was their star player. That was how they were supposed to get to the next round. And it was a dog fight. And that was huge. He just got mental. And baseball is such a mental game. Anyways, I don't want to go too crazy into baseball. I'm just very passionate about the sport because that's what I used to do. I play some football, but that's kind of besides the point. Uh, so average. There can be, kind of two takes on average. You could, be labeled average, or somebody labels you average, in the kind of ego comes up, and it's like, no, that's not me. That's not me. I can't be average. I can't be average. And you start to it starts that inner kind of dialogue or monologue, of, what does it mean to be average to that person? And no, I'm not average. I'm better than average, and just gets them all mental. The other thing that I think about being average in, it just depends on what you're average in. It's not necessarily too bad to be average. Um, let's see, for instance, just off the top of my head, let's say you're average in two languages. Well, being average at two languages isn't average anymore. Or being average at being a, I don't know, just XYZ example nuclear physicist. You're a nuclear physicist. You might be average at it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're average at all. I think a lot of people that label themselves as average have certain qualities and characteristics within them that can be kind of extrapolated out or pulled out and can be blown up into huge potential. um, I think a lot of people, whenever it comes to dealing with loss or dealing with suffering, I think in essence, alchemizing or changing, the suffering into something of beauty is the highest thing that we should do in potential. Basically trying to alleviate suffering for others and alleviate suffering on yourself too. Um, so to kind of wrap it all back in together, so the integrity, kind of like the battleship reference, um, in average. So I kind of think about it like the the like the hardest truths of the integrity, or that's how it's called. Perfect. Hardest truths in the integrity, being pulled from average. So, like for everyday situations, for everyday people, trying to pull people's truths together within that integrity and develop something into something of beauty. And yeah, I think that's exactly it. But yeah, as for a second video, that's kind of the reason behind the name of integrity and average. Anyways, burp. Anyways, I hope y'all have a great day or a great rest of your day. I'm recording this on Thursday, so it'll be posted, tomorrow, today, Friday. And yeah, hope you have a blast wherever you are. And yeah, thanks.